For the better part of the 20th century, Agatha Christie's crime and detective novels filled countless libraries, bookstores, and homes all around the world. She wrote over 80 novels, 100 short stories, as well as the longest-running play in history. Her books have been translated into more than 100 languages, and she is considered one of the most famous female writers in history. With a deeper look into her life's work and achievements, and the refreshingly different male and female characters she created in her novels, it is clear that Christie was an accomplished woman who challenged the normative dynamics of men and women in her novels, and is an excellent addition to the International Honors Quilt, Judy Chicago's famous feminist exhibition now residing at the University of Louisville. Christie was born Agatha Mary Clarissa Miller on September 15, 1890 in Torquay, England. She had a happy childhood in an upper-middle-class family, learning to read and write at a very early age. In fact, her favorite gifts to ask for during Christmas were books. Christie and her siblings had always been encouraged to write, but it was not until after a bet with her sister that Christie wrote her first novel, The Mysterious Affair at Styles, in 1916. The book did not get published until 1920, but it soon became a hit, and after that she never stopped writing. She continued to write multiple books a year until her death in 1971. In her lifetime, she was a prolific writer, a dame of Queen Elizabeth II, and a household name that is still known 40 years after her death. The fact that this seemingly ordinary woman from England could write so many groundbreaking and popular books that turned her into a legend is reasoning in itself to earn her a spot in the International Honors Quilt. Though women were gaining more rights and equality in England at the time, much of the world was still male-oriented. She was able to produce hundreds of successful works throughout her life and still be an independent woman in a happy marriage. She became an inspiration for other female writers and acted as a role model writer to many, securing her position as one of the most successful female writers of all time. How Christie created and constructed her characters set her apart in a feminist perspective, and although she was not a proclaimed feminist, historians and feminists today can appreciate her female characters. Death and murder in her books did not follow any normal gender or sexual stereotypes. Female murderers especially were not stereotypical. They were normal, ordinary women with familiar qualities that many women possess. In these characters, many of the qualities dealt with their strength, intelligence, and energy. This puts women in a more positive and egalitarian light in which both men and women possess the power to kill, and the intelligence and cunning to solve murders. So Christie kept her female characters in relatively feminine roles that were normal during the mid-20th century. She allowed them to keep their independence and sense of self. For example, when a woman detective chose to marry in her books, that marriage was for love, and meant to be a partnership of two equal people. These were not patriarchal marriages demeaning the roles of women, but were rather a continuation of this woman's creation of herself. She created these positive female characters and transformed them into role models for women of the time to look up to. They were not radically progressive or feminist women, but ordinary people with good qualities that could aspire to do more with their lives. As evident through Agatha Christie's accomplishments as a female writer and her positive female characters, she has rightfully earned her place in the International Honors Quilt. Although Christie never identified as a feminist or wrote characters for a feminist agenda, she consciously created strong, intelligent, relatable women that others could look up to and find pieces of themselves in the character. Whether the women were detectives or murderers, she constructed them with the utmost care and precision to eliminate them of any negative female stereotypes. Her characters were not judged by their gender, but instead by their talent, energy, and attributes. Agatha Christie successfully created a model society in her novels based on egalitarian principles, making her not only one of the most accomplished female writers in history, but also a woman with ideas and standards ahead of her time.